Hey, this is Dan. Welcome back to Real Vape Review, and I have an atomizer review for you guys today and some e-liquids to go along with it. The folks over at esig-vapo.com, so esig-vapo.com, they contacted me and asked me if I'd review a product or whatever. They said they was going to send me over a big VAMO or VAMO kit and all this other stuff, and then they changed their minds and they sent over something smaller just to see how the review would go and everything. I wish they would have stuck to something I know rather than sending this over, but I'm going to go ahead and give this a shot. Now, I'll be honest with you guys up front. I don't quite understand rebuildable atomizers just yet. That's something I'm kind of working in and working towards. I do have an IGOS mini that I need to figure out how to build and actually do the wirings, but these big old honking hands, pretty tough for me to do the rebuildable atomizers plus having that kind of time. The second part I don't understand about these is the dripping part and the time consumption going along with it. I know it'd be great for sampling different products and stuff, but I kind of tend to prefer tank systems rather than the rebuildable atomizers. I understand you can do the resistance, you can adjust the resistances and less coils, and I understand why you get this huge vapor production and this huge blast of flavor, but honestly I just don't get it myself. That's something I'm learning and that's something I'm going along with as well. So they went ahead and sent me over the Vapo UFO Atomizer. Now, this is what they sent over, and they sent me over two liquids, 2 bottles of e-liquid, and a box or a little tube of e-solid. I'll show you that real quick, e-solid, and I'll get into that in just a minute, but I want to show you this UFO first. I'll just show you the piece and parts and components it kind of comes with here, so hopefully we can see all this. The first part here is the mouthpiece, and it's just like a little plastic mouthpiece. And anyway, yeah, it's just got a little hole, draw a hole in the end of it. So I'll go ahead and set that off to the side here. Now, this actually comes apart in 3 different places. Now, I'll show you it says Vapo on there, and it's 3 different places, and it's chrome. It's really a nice looking little unit for sure, but it comes apart in 3 different places. The first, this beveled piece here on the top, I'll go ahead and pull it off. Now this, and I have used this just trying to figure out what it is. This part has the wick inside of there, and then it also has two slots cut out on the inside of it there. Now, from what I can see from the limited amount of videos I've found on the UFO, is you put a little bit of the gel or the liquid right here on the actual wick, and then as you draw through it, it'll draw air through the little slots, draws it down, or when you suck on it up here, it'll actually draw the liquid down through the wick and onto the atomizer. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pull this little part here off. Fingers are slippery. Anyway, go ahead and pull this next little piece off of here. And this is going to be the actual coil and wick. And I'll go ahead and show you this here. It's got the coil. Now, it does have quite a few wraps on that coil, and you can see that there. It's got the 2 posts there for the positive and negative. And I'll show you the bottom of it here, and it screws onto a standard 510 threading on the inside there. But yeah, the coil, like I said, this is a new adventure for me. This is something I just don't know much about. But I have tested it. I've played it a little bit. I don't quite get it, but we're going to go with it anyway. So I'm going to try to do the best I can here. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people correct me on where I'm wrong on this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and use my iTaste SVD. I'm going to go ahead and pull this beauty ring off here just so we can see, get a little better, clear look at all this. I'm going to go ahead and put the actual coil atomizer of it on there first. And I'll go ahead and show you how it looks on the end of there. So you can see that there. Now, if I put a little bit of the gel, well, let me show you the liquids really quick. Alright, the first one is going to be called Marlboro, and this is from Vapo, and it's actually a Marlboro flavor, and it's extremely X-high, and it just says VG on there, and then it has a used by May of 2013. So it's already pretty much expired. I haven't had this for all that long. I've had this for a couple weeks probably. Took a while to get here. Anyway, it's a refill liquid, and on there it says keep out of reach of children, used by May 2013, made in the UK. Now, this is a European-based website as well, so just so you guys know that, you can, and I'm pretty sure they ship worldwide. I'm not positive. Anyway, they got Marlboro, and then they've got tobacco, but notice the spelling of tobacco. It's actually spelled wrong, so T-A-B-A-C-O instead of T-A-B-A-C-C-O. Tobacco, anyway, close enough. Organic refill liquids. and it says on there extremely high, 3.2 milligrams, VG, and used by January of 2015. Very similar bottle, so I'm not sure why one is 2 years more advanced. And the third one is going to be this E-Solid. I'll just go ahead and pull it out because it's got all the same information actually on the little tube that it does on the actual package. And this is going to be an E-Solid. Focus. Okay, E-Solid, and this is going to be cannabis super high, and it's extract from pure essential oil, supercritical CO2 extract technology, and yes, so it is a cannabis flavor. Honestly, I've tried it. It's not good, in my opinion. I don't. It's been a lot of years since I've smoked weed and cannabis and everything. On the back of it here, it has a whole bunch of information of all the ingredients put on the inside of it there, and it's got a lot of stuff going on with this. And yeah, it's just a lot of information. Really fine print. Tobacco ketones, PEG, PG, glycerin, sodium alginate, HA, aspartate, enzyme, some sort of gum, chamomile oil, and CMC. So it's got a lot of stuff in this. And this is what I'm actually going to use today, and I'm going to kind of hold off on those other two. But I'll go ahead and just show you this. It's actually it's a really, you know, it's a gel. It really is just a gel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this atomizer here real quick. I'm going to go ahead and just put a little dab on this atomizer. Okay, and hopefully I don't get goop all over my camera. We can get to focus. I'm going to go ahead and fire it up here and just watch just how fast that melted that down. Now, it does melt it down really quick, and it vaporizes it very, very quickly. So, yeah, so let's go ahead and check the resistance of what this coil is actually putting out. 2.2 ohms of resistance on the coil that has it wrapped on there now. And what I've seen on the coils is the less amount of wraps, like 3 wraps, 4 wraps, 5 wraps, it all increases or decreases the amount of resistance. So now, that's not the way, I don't think that's the way we're actually going to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this next piece back on here. I'm going to go ahead and put that tip on there with the actual wick, and I'll let you take a look at this. And it's actually got the wick with the 2 little slots. So I'm going to take a little bit of this gel. And I'm just going to put it right there on the wick. Like I say, I don't quite get it. I don't quite understand how, why, what the whole purpose is of the whole thing. But I went ahead and put just a little bit of gel right on that wick, and you can see the wick is all gelled up now. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my top piece back on. And I'm going to go ahead and put my mouthpiece back on. So it's a lot of work just to get a little bit of a little taste for a few puffs and a few shots of vaporizing on this liquid. So let's go ahead and let's vape it. This is a cannabis flavor. It's got a great vapor production. Like I said, I don't dig that flavor much. It's really like a tobacco flavor, but like in times 10. And my air conditioner just kicked off, and it's hot right here. So sorry about me. Apologize for me sweating, but it does have a great vapor production. But like I say, when you pull this next piece off, and I'm just going to go ahead and split it right here where the wick is. You notice the wick, it's kind of drying up a little, and it's not working all that great. So I'm going to go ahead and just use my paper towel. I'm going to wipe that off. Clean that wick up a little bit, because I don't really like that flavor all that much anyway. If you love the taste of cannabis, it might be a good shot for you. To me, it's just a little strong. It's a little much. It's a little musky. So instead, I'm going to go ahead and use the Marlboro flavor. And what I'm going to do with this, and this is actually a liquid, so I'm just going to take it, but kind of a thick liquid still. And I'm just going to go ahead and just put like 3 drops on the actual wick. And I'll get that up there so you can actually see it. See, I got like 3 drops on the wick, and the wick is actually drawing it up and drawing it down. Now, when I vape on it, I'll actually be sucking air down in and back up through the actual wick, so it's actually going to draw it down towards the atomizer. So I don't know, I'm confused. Like I say, I'm really confused of this. I'm not quite up to the level of a rebuildable atomizer yet, but we'll give it the best shot we can. That was much better flavor. Still very, very strong though. It's got a real potency to it. It's got a lot of kick. It burns my throat as it goes down. It's definitely got some definite heavy duty kick to it. Okay, now we'll go ahead and pull this back off here and we'll take a look at the wick part. You can see the wick, it's actually sucked most of that liquid down in, and we're back to being just a regular wick. Go ahead and pull this part off, and it is getting it's a little warm. And we're back to the coil part right here, and take a look at the coil and everything. And like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and put a drop on here, just a couple drops, one drop. One heavy drop on there, and I'm going to go ahead and just show you this real quick. Just the way it burns, and it does burn. It catches on fire after a while. After it dries out and don't have anything left on there, it does catch on fire. I know this is a really disjointed review. I really wish I had more information. I really wish I knew what I was doing. This would be something more suited for an advanced vapor, but yeah, it's way above my learning curve of where I'm at right now. It's still very interesting. It's still very fun to play with. But I will say this, eSig-Vapo, thank you guys so much. But they do have a lot of products over on that website. They have a ton of electronic cigarettes, personal vaporizers, atomizers, cartomizers. They have a whole bunch of different items worth taking a look at over there for sure. E-liquids, I mean, all the way down the line. So, like I say, I'm not to a point yet. I just spit when I talk. Anyway, I'm not to a point yet where I quite understand the rebuildable atomizers. I'm just not to that point. I wish I was, but honestly, I don't get it. I'm kind of confused by it. I don't understand why go through all that work just for a few drops at a time, unless you have an automatic feeder or you have something automatically feeding that coil, or some other sort of style of wick style. And I was thinking possibly, you know, pull the mouthpiece out and load that whole thing up with e-liquid, but that wouldn't work because it would just run down through those slots and it would run down and soak the coil. I don't know. Maybe that's what it's intended for, but I don't. Like I say, I just don't quite get it. I don't quite understand it. But I will say, build quality and everything, it looks wise, it looks pretty cool. It's got a really nice look to it for sure. It looks legit. I mean, it looks like it's supposed to look. I'm assuming from what I've seen from different websites and stuff. But me personally, I just don't understand it. So I will say eSig-Vapo, definitely worth going and taking a look at. Their prices are just a little bit higher than they are on some of the other websites like FastTech. But it's definitely something worth looking at, and definitely go check it out anyway. At least go look and have yourself a look around. Like I said, they got the e-solids over there, and like I say, this is a cannabis super high, and it's the gel, the actual gel stuff, and they actually have e-liquids over there. Now these liquids are thick. They are not like this from the Vapor Chef, where it's kind of runny and whatever. These are kind of thick and more like molasses. So they are a thick, heavy liquid versus a gel or an actual liquid, running liquid. So, but UFO Vapo, it's a very cool look. It's a very cool little unit for sure. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I'm not to that point in my vaping yet. But thank you, eSig-Vapo, for sending the stuff over there. I really do appreciate it. And the stuff came out of Romania. So they are, like I say, they are European-based country or company. So definitely something worth checking out. So I know this has been a really strange review. I wish I had more answers. I wish I had a better way of presenting it. But unfortunately, like I say, I'm just not to that point of vaping yet. I'm not. It takes more advanced. I'm semi-advanced. I'm not advanced yet. I'm pretty good with variable voltage, variable wattage, and I'm learning as I go. I still have a lot to learn. Obviously, I have a lot to learn, but I have a lot to learn about the rebuildable atomizers and why. That's the part I need to figure out is what is the big push or the big. A lot of heavy-duty advanced vapors really love the rebuildable atomizers. I still can't quite figure out why, because of the drip system and everything, and you just get a few hits off of it. To me, it honestly just don't make much sense. I would much rather take and just go with the tank system, just like this. And I get that hit. As long as I can see fluid in that tank, I know that tank is good to go. So this system, like I said, I just don't understand it. I'm sure it's a wonderful little piece of equipment. This on the website was 13 bucks, by the way. I think it was $13. Let me check really quick. 1207 right now on. It's a UFO Vapo and UFO Atomizer, so it's $12. So if you're interested in a UFO rebuildable atomizer, that's a Vapo. Definitely worth something checking out. It didn't come with any wicks or wire. It just came just like this. But if you already have wicks and wires, you can change the resistance. You can rebuild it. You can do whatever you want with it. So it's definitely a cool unit. I just don't know enough about it, so I apologize for not knowing more than I do, but that's what I get. So, all right, guys, we're going to catch you guys on the next review. Appreciate all the love and support. Thank you guys so much. Stay charged and vape on.